Thanks,
All right, so today I chose for my informative speech to talk to you guys about the Oregon Trail. I love history, so it's something that I find very fascinating, and as you see, America today is how it is because of the events that took place during the Western expansion. So to start, back in the 1830s is when people started to want to try and go west. So some reasons for that. There are some different ones, but the first one is a phrase. So motivation for migration going west is a phrase called manifest destiny was one of them. So it's a belief that Americans had a divinely ordained right to expand across the continent. So with that in mind, all sorts of worldviews in mind, people were going west, from the Mormons to your average person who just wanted to have more of a better chance of a better life, more land. So with that in mind, and go west, young man, you can think of different phrases, kind of had like a marketing ploy to get people to go west. So there was economic incentives. The Oregon Donation Land Act of 1850 promised free land to settlers in the Oregon Territory, which was a powerful draw for those facing poverty, seeking better opportunities, and then escape and opportunity. So people from all walks of life, from merchants, farmers, missionaries, all sorts of people wanted to have a fresh start and go somewhere that wasn't as settled as the East. So you guys probably all heard of the game Oregon Trail, right? Yeah, very fun. The real one was kind of rough, okay? Like more than rough. And it's a fun game, very educational, but there's a lot of things that to consider in mind, like, hey, like this is actually kind of crazy. Like, if you can't just come back and like get another life, and you're gonna go like you're on the real deal. So life on the trail. This is one of the mile markers on the trail. There were many different types of trails for people going west during the Western expansion. So there's the California Trail, Santa Fe Trail, which all had those going towards the west part of America. So this is a picture of a group of second graders that I got to take to the National Trails Museum in Independence, Missouri, which is the start off point for the Oregon Trail. So it's a very neat place. I recommend going there. So the distance that I would take to go is roughly a 2,000-mile journey, and it would take around 4 to 6 months. So you're in for the long haul. For quite a bit of the journey there. Pioneers faced all kinds of challenges and routines. They would wake up very early in the morning, go into the night, just traveling very long hours. There was a constant fear of getting left behind or property getting taken, and then the challenges of having to leave stuff behind. You always think, thinking back to the Oregon Trail game, you have all your stuff, you're going. Real life, they had to leave lots of stuff behind to lighten the load. There was lots of rough terrain. So this picture here, I always love this picture. It's hanging in my grandparents' living room. This is by Campbell, is his last name, and this is how the West was won. He has in our collection, and as you can see, they had to leave behind quite a bit of stuff. It's kind of hard to see this picture, So, contrary to popular belief, most pioneers walked alongside their wagons, which was filled with supplies because they wanted to have as much as they could, but that wasn't always possible. And they would often take oxen rather than horses because oxen had more endurance. They were cheaper, and so you can get for your money and be able to get further if you didn't had a team of horses. So there was lots of different hardships as well, as I've been talking about. lots of disease. So one of the biggest killer on the trail was illnesses like cholera, typhoid fever, which would spread rapidly because they didn't have sanitation, water, and different stuff like that, contaminated food. There would be lots of accidents as wagons could, the axle would come apart or different things where that sort of thing would happen. Firearm discharges were also a major cause of death. And then there's also like the weather. I mean, they would have to leave. You have to leave just at the right time. Otherwise, if you didn't, you'd probably end up starving or freezing to death. So it wasn't like you can just leave whenever, take your time. Like in the game, you can sleep for like a couple of days to get better. You can't do that. You gotta get going. So there's also interactions with the Native Americans as well. Some were positive, some were negative, just depending on the tribe you came across and different things like that. So the impact of the Oregon Trail, as you can tell, we have 50 states, so that's a big part of that. Since we were able to expand that much, that ultimately led to having that treaty signed with Britain so we can have land. And then there's also the negative impacts like the Native American displacement, where many Native Americans, it was kind of sad, but they lost land and there's broken treaties, different stuff like that went on. And then, so just the new opportunities. So the trail offered a path to new life for people escaping economic hardship, and this especially all of the things that was happening in the 1830s onto like 1869 is like when people were kind of going on this route. With all that to say, the pioneers were very amazing people, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't really, it would be a very different reality today. So that's all I have.